Hey everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and this is a patron group live that we're doing on YouTube. And we're doing this so that you guys can find this easier and have better replayability and an easier time chatting. We're just going to compare the two experiences. This link will be in your dashboard where you can get to it anytime, just like all the other projects. And it's a really special project because we're celebrating. Hi, John.
Hi.
He's the one who can talk and pronounce things today. We're celebrating a really cool event. Moderator Red became a Glamma again, and there was a new baby, and I wanted to do a painting to sort of celebrate that and create a lesson because she does elephant paintings for all the babies. And that ended up being, if you can show them, John, that ended up taking me to the corner. That ended up being this really adorable painting. Now, big news on this, not forever and ever into the future, just like I think for 6 more hours, you can enter for your chance to win this. We're not announcing it during the live. You don't have to be here. The entry is in your dashboards with the projects you just can enter, and then one lucky patron will win this gorgeous original Art Sherpa watercolor. I wanted to give you guys a giveaway that was just yours and also a little less game intensive, more like chill and relaxing. So this is what we're going to be painting today. We're going to really work on these wonderful flows from color to color. I'm going to actually show you how I draw him in, but you've got a traceable, so if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'll show you how I get the nice little drip effect. And we're also going to work on our leaf pattern. This is a really important thing to do in watercolors, being able to make these little botanical patterns that create structure in your paintings. I see art by Kim Ann and Donna Cox and Kelly and Suzanne and Callie. So I'm very excited. And I see Red who snuck in to say hi to us. How you doing? So Dorothy, good to see you. I hope that everybody likes this process as much as in the group. I think it might actually end up being a little bit easier and better. Now, I do tend to do the pencil light, and that's so that it doesn't disrupt the watercolor, but we'll really quickly be able to see that. At least you can kind of get a sense of what I'm doing. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and weirdly, I'm going to, okay, there we go. I was like, I'm pressing and nothing is happening. I'm like, this pencil doesn't work like pencil. So I'm going to create a little trunk here. And to do that, I'm going to bring this down. What is going on with this pencil, John?
It's very light.
No, I mean, like I'm making marks and no graphite is releasing.
Ah, I thought it was just like...
It's a good Atama pencil. This is not a fine art tool, and I may switch to a fine art tool in just a second here. I'm going to bring this up. Now, on his little trunk, I'm going to come tapered in. Here's what. Watch this, John. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sharpen it. Sometimes when a pencil is giving you grief, what it is there's a hard bit of graphite or a rock or something in there. It's what I don't actually like about Prismacolors is they have it quite a lot and that you have to heat them to make them work. Look at that. Suddenly it works. So that's just a thing that happens sometimes with pencils. So I'm going to bring a nice little big head up because babies have big heads, right? And then we're going to do some flutterfin elephant ear wings. Just basic little butterfly wings. Make sure that you leave a little room for an eye that's going to be coming there. I like to take the little bum kind of down like this. It's a bit of a mammoth structure, actually inspired by a mammoth because I think it's super cute, just line-wise. Not that Primal Man went up to a mammoth and was like, "Do you know your back line is super cute?" They were probably like, "Ah," or "I eat you," and much less like how cute the mammoth is. I'm going to bring this down here. I'm on a giant piece of paper, just so you guys know. Now, on the bottom of the feet, we're going to want them to be about the same thing, but I like to make them just a little bit rounded. I do have an eraser here, but I don't actually expect to have to erase, but if I do, it's here. I don't like to erase on my watercolor paper because it can damage the surface where it would take the paint. If I have to, I will do it. Now this foot shouldn't be as long as this forward foot, and that's going to help it seem like it's a little bit back. And same with this front foot that's happening here. Now, to help me make sure that I've got a nice splash, I'm going to make a guideline that I'll follow. And to also try to make sure that I have a nice ground line, I'm going to make that line using my handy dandy T-square, just because I am straight line challenged, as many of you know. And then the last thing is a cute little tail. I'm going to curve that up. And I like to put it sort of right here in the midway point of the butt. If you imagine this curve is his butt, here on his leg. Interestingly enough, from all the years that I've drawn horses and other quadrupeds, I have this weird sense of the bone structure. So I'm like, this here is the halfway point of this imaginary made-up animal butt that I've just created. It's really weird how all that information just sort of sticks with you.
It helps.
And I'm telling you, if I put it here, it would look weird. And if I put it here, it would look weird. But I know right here, it will look okay. And I guess that's just something that sometimes comes with experience. You know, you paint for a while and then suddenly you're like, man, I have a lot of weird visual information just stored in my brain pan. I like that very much. What do you guys think? How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good. We have a pretty nice crew of people here with us tonight.
Everybody patron lives. This is whatever level that you are. If you're in the group, you're getting to see this live painting. And we're going to do the group lives this way unless we're doing just an informal Q&A. That way you guys can access and replay and enjoy the tutorial just a little bit more. So also for this, I'm going to be using an Edding 1880 and a jelly roll or white acrylic paint to make the spots on his butterfly wings. And there's a little thing that I'm going to sort of fix. I'm going to add a second little wing on this one. It really bothered me on the first one. I'm going to add a second little wing. It's like... I also have my Fabriano postcard paper here as scratch paper. Don't tell them. It's just, we're going to talk about how we practice our leaf pattern and how that leaf is created. All right. Oh, Stephanie's like, she loves my elephant. And I see Mark and Cindy and Callie. Oh my gosh, it's good to see everybody. It's going to be a fun one. So I'm going to get my sort of main brush. And the first thing that I'm going to do, I have my palette upside down. And I know that because my name card is showing it.
Huh.
I was like, that's upside down. I was about to go get a color, and I'm like, that has to be purple, so what's going on? I'm going to take a little bit of my gray paint, right? This is just my Payne's gray, and I'm going to just paint him a very, very, very light gray to begin with. It has to be light, so when I come back with the blue leaves, those show very nicely. And I'm going to just paint this out. Now, yes, this is a super awesome fancy brush.
What is the name of that super awesome fancy brush?
This is one of Jasper Stardust's hand-turned brushes. He does these, but the head business of it, the part that's the ferrule and the head, is an Escoda.
Escoda.
Escoda makes very good watercolor brushes. There's a few companies that make some great stuff, so it's nice every once in a while to show you guys that. I have a weird little bit of something on my paper, so I use my brush to pick it up and pull it aside. That's not unusual in my studio because I always have, well, some type of painting going on, and there's always some weird bit of paint dust or something afoot.
See, I really, really love these patron lives.
Yeah?
Because they remind me of the very early days when you and I were broadcasting live.
And we were so excited that anybody came.
And that it turned on.
That it turned on. And
We're live and there are 3 people. Hello, 3 people. We're so happy.
I'm still just as excited, but there was something to say about that small sort of art family.
It was really interesting because when we went live, it was generally the same 30 to 60 people who were hanging out with us for a long time.
Long time.
And then, 1 year, all of a sudden, just twice as many people showed up.
It was
just we're do. And then, I don't know, it was within a span of a month, twice as many people showed up. And it was hey, there's a bigger crew of people here. We'll all have more. And then all of a sudden, we were Sherpa. And then things just kind of went YouTube crazy because
they did.
Sometimes YouTube would serve us out and we'd have a bazillion people.
Because YouTube got excited about live. I'm going to do a darker kind of color on the inside here.
And then YouTube would say, no, we do not like you. You're not a vlogger.
Yeah.
And then we're like, but you liked this
But we like
yesterday.
you, YouTube. I'm going to bring that little dark color kind of all the way through the arc here. Yeah, it was an interesting time.
It really was.
Now remember, the paint goes where the water is, so because the elephant is still a little bit wet, you've got to expect that dark color to kind of go in.
It's
If
seeping.
that will bother you, it doesn't bother me. I actually like it, but if that were to bother you, you would
I'm
want to
gonna
wait
zoom in to
till
show.
it was completely dry.
I'm going to zoom in to show the blooming effect that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
the bloom.
I'm
Isn't
also
that
just
pretty?
being ridiculous with my zoom.
You
is
like
the
to be
thing.
ridiculous with your zoom?
Just occasionally. It's like,
Our brush is the same for
"Ooh."
watercolor or acrylic. Dorothy Radmaker is asking a very good question. No, they're very different. I'm going to monologue like a villain here.
All right.
So watercolor brushes need to hold a lot more water, and not ironically at all, like in their name. So basically, they work a little bit like if you've ever gotten into calligraphy with a pen, they pull a lot of the pigment and color and water into this part of the brush, what's called the belly. Very little holds at the heel, and then a well-made brush, as you press on the toe, will actually, much like a pen, release that water and pigment. So they tend to use natural filaments, and they're not really even filaments. There's hairs. The really good ones are Klinsky sable, but I don't think that's really ethical. Most of them are squirrel
Okay.
or a blend.
Klinsky scable. Another word for
Marmot.
expensive rat in a tree.
Yeah, very expensive, but they're endangered, and so right now squirrel is just fine, guys. I gotta really tell you, it's
Squirrel.
really okay. The
Less
reason that they
expensive
do this,
tree rat.
I actually got the explanation. The number 8 black velvet is a blend of sable and other hairs, and it's cut, not shaped. The Escoda is made by Master Brushmaker, and it's shaped, not cut.
Okay.
How they make the brushes is they get very long hairs, mostly from the male's tail. Apparently, males have better, longer hairs. And a master brush maker finds the hairs as they curve, and they're shaped in to make the point. It's crazy. But this also works really well. So whichever you prefer, there's just sometimes a big cost difference between the cut brush and the shape brush.
Yep.
And John has brush thoughts too.
I have brush thoughts. I would say I have brush opinions.
That's true. John also has brush opinions. I'm going to wet right here at the ear a little bit where we had this light gray. And I'll go ahead and get a little gray. I want to make this a nice mellow transition from the elephant to the yellow. So I'll get this just a little bit wet and make sure that's blended out.
And hello to
Just
Heather, who's
Hello,
joined
Heather.
us for the first time.
This is your first time, Heather?
She joined the patronage just to be part of the lives, and so I thought I'd say hello.
Awesome.
Good for you to join us.
Hello. We're going to do this all yellow kind of at first.
This is our much more laid back
Yeah.
kind of broadcast.
Now, remember, where the wet edges touch, the paints will mix together. That's how they're going to blend. But where it's dry, the paint will stay very neat and tidy in that confined space. And then come and add just a little bit right here as well. I'm going to come in while everything is still wet to that end, and I'm going to get a little bit of my orange, and I will come to these edges. Of this ear. I will sometimes dip my brush into water to kind of offload some of the pigment. And I'm tapping up and down, kind of moving this in a little bit, just so that there's a bit of orange kind of curving around. Stronger on the bottom part of this little ear. And a little bit like, because this is the far wing, kind of like on that whole ear, because that's darker and on the inside. You can do the one ear if you want. I just really wanted to do a 2 ear. I'm going to go ahead and grab some gray to make sure that I've got the tail. Ooh, I got like the S curves going on with this. You can see that as I press down, you can see how the brush really releases that color, which is kind of nice. That's looking good. Dorothy's like, thanks for explaining. You're welcome. And welcome, Brianna. All right, so this is more of a relaxing paint. Sharon says she's loving the 5-minute videos. Dandelion tomorrow. Boom. It's going to be awesome.
What's after that one, do you think?
Huh?
What do you think will be after that?
Are you doing the
We're doing
lavender or the pink tree after the dandelion?
I don't know. It's up to you. You're all ready.
I did a whole bunch of them, and then I designed a whole bunch more because once I started opening up that idea. So we're going to do like 8 of the fans, and then we'll do something else for a minute because I feel like everyone will get bored of the fans. But then as soon as everyone's ready for the fans to come back, I have a whole bunch more fans to do. It's super fun. I really love doing them. Because I think it gives you just a real fast, if you watch the first video, get the techniques, all the other videos are kind of like, you're like, oh yeah, I get that. That's the process. You just need to see the process and the layers and the little bit of explanation from me, and you guys are good. Now, I'm going to do his little rainbow splitter. And if you'll remember, we kind of do have like the paint goes where the water is. So I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to load this is the Carmine, which is kind of like this kit's version of the magenta. It's more of a pinkish red. And I like to make weird little uneven shapes because, water. So when you're trying to paint water that is splashing, even though it's not splashing, that's an important component of that. Right? I'm going to go up a little bit with that. Now I'm going to rinse out. Swishy swish. I love my shark bowl. I'm going to get some of my warm red. That's my French Vermilion, which is like old-timey cad red. Old-timey cad. But it's just basically the orange red in the set. You use whatever you've got. If you've got Crayolas, just pick what you've got. Oh, everyone's just talking about how like they're loving the 5-minute videos, John.
Oh, nice.
They're quite a lot of work. And then John is doing 15-second ones too. So that's pretty intense.
I do some 15-second videos. I like them. They're to time. I do them to popular music from those humans.
From humans.
Those human musacs.
I'm going to actually come a little bit above my orange with my yellow because I want some space that is just the yellow. And this is going to let me do that. And then I'm going to ask you guys a really weird question.
What's your weird question?
As I'm making my rainbow, notice that I'm kind of blending those two things here. Did anybody ever read the book, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, that they just turned into a Netflix movie? Because I just watched that and I was so into it and yet so completely confused. I mean, like, I think I understood what was going on, but I was like also kind of confused about it. And it was just like, this is beautiful and weird and I don't know if I like it or hate it. I can't decide.
You said some words, but I don't know what they were.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was a book that they turned into a Netflix movie.
Okay.
And it was weird and beautiful and confusing and awesome. And I won't do any spoilers, but I'm just wondering, like, did anybody read the book and love it? And were they excited that it got turned into a Netflix movie? Like, what was their thought? Or were they like, no, I hated that. That was weird and conceptual, and I don't know what they were talking about. Because I think it could go either way. Let's add some little kind of drips in our green. Let's add some little spots of this green that could be, like, splattering out.
Were you just left there, standing there, waiting for Godot?
No, Godot made like a lot more sense. Waiting for Godot made sense both in its metaphor and in its practical thing and also in its origin. But this was like, I think I know what's happening and it's beautiful, but maybe it's sad. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is. And it left me feeling really weird. Dorothy wants to know, is there a regular time and day for 5-minute lessons? So the current run of fan brush lessons are 10 a.m. Eastern. Every day, I'm coming 15 minutes early to be there in the chat if anybody has questions. They get progressively more skills in them, so you want to do them kind of in order. And so where we need to, we do some time ramping there, but it really, like, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's like not a problem. I can totally handle that. I like to get my little splashes going. Taking my splashes. Now, I do like my Phthalo for my rainbows personally. Some people really prefer the ultramarine. If I was going to be like really ultramarine focused, I'd probably do it nearer the purple. If that makes sense. I'm going to make little drop shapes here.
I'm letting Luna try to run RoboCam today.
Is Luna running RoboCam today?
She's been learning how to steer and zoom.
So Luna is your future Sherpa.
she's claimed the throne, so to speak.
Really, you want Luna?
she's almost pushing Cinnamon over, saying, "I'll take that hat."
Well, she just wants me to know that when it's time for me to retire, she's got it. She's got you guys, and she's going to take good care of you. And she asked me a lot of questions about what it takes to be me all the time, and how I do what I do, and you know, I think that probably chances are you guys will be learning from Luna someday.
The Sherpa is strong in her.
Sherpa is strong in her. I'll come out here and maybe like kind of space these out a little bit on the purples. There we go. We have a nice little kind of purple, and that makes this whole splashy. So that's there. Oh, you saw the 15-second reel on Instagram? Did you like it, Donna? I liked it. Also, it did really well. I was like, this weird video did better than all my other videos combined that have released recently. I don't know how to feel about that. Sometimes it's hard to know how to feel about that stuff, right? Where you're like, this did differently than I expected. I'm going to let that continue to dry a little bit, so when I put the black in, it's nice and thing. I can therefore...
It seemed a little bright there. I was like, what happened to that camera? The camera was a little like... I fixed it.
Art by Kim Ann says, hello, Luna. And Linda says they're not prepared for Linda. Yeah, Linda and Luna were painting. They did the coloring page. You guys know how on Watercolor Wednesday we had that crazy troll company trolling us. And so, like, after fantasizing about having them kidnapped by Blackwater and taught, like, a very serious lesson in, like, a dark room with Caillou, which really seriously is a fantasy I really like, but probably I will never be able to enact, we just did a coloring page to honor our troll. And Linda and Luna did one, and it was really sweet. And then Luna's like, no, my troll is happy and nice.
So Cinnamon's idea of Blackwater torture is you wake up neck deep in sand, staring at a 70-inch screen playing Caillou.
Also, I'd like that to be live streaming so I could watch them. I don't know what this means. I think I'm going to talk to my counselor about it.
It's like, you're going to learn to be nice, and we're going to teach you the Canadian way of doing it.
I'd be so sorry you messed with me. Though I do have this fantasy where, like, criminal organizations are like, don't mess with the Sherpa. That woman is crazy. Do you know what she did to Bob? She dropped him in a hole and made him watch Caillou for days.
You remember Fred? Yeah, I remember Fred. He was real hard. He works for her now.
He gave up and he said, sorry, ma'am. The other thing I think is just crazy is we were talking about, like, you have all these bots, right? All these accounts that can fake human beings and behave certain ways. I'm like, man, they could have used all this for good, right? Like, they don't have to use it for evil. Like they could have done great work for humanity.
What if you had Elon Musk resources and just, like, wanted to mess around on Facebook?
I would just make people happier. I would have thousands of bots that would go out and spread joy and positive messaging and messaging of inclusion and togetherness and all kinds of things about how we're okay, you know, and we're all on the same team and everyone is beautiful and wonderful. And how there were secret groups working for the good of man in the world. I would do all the same things, but with, like, this real positive bent. I'm just kind of having fun with I really have to tell you, and you guys might have noticed this, I really dig my water rainbow thing. I dig it so much. So much. Bob sucks bones, says Linda. You know what? I haven't seen. Have we seen moderator Viridian lately?
Yeah, I think I saw her earlier
Him.
today. Him.
Him.
Oh, no. Viridian? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I haven't seen Viridian. I
saw
just
Red.
thought of it.
I saw Red.
Yeah, Red I've seen. Red I see it. Talk to all the time. So just gonna again just continue our path of the rainbow. What you do up top, what is above is below. I'm gonna have to raise this up. I'm looking at this right now. He's just floating above everything, so I gotta take it up. See, it can't draw a straight line. But I can fix it. See how I fix it? Watch me work. There we go. I'll just raise the whole line and then it'll be fine. You got to just make sure it looks like he could stand on what he's standing on, you know?
Yeah.
Because he has to be getting the rainbow from somewhere, so he got it from down here. See, I have a plan. Even in my fantasy. Hey, Maud, check on that. Make sure everything is okay. Like I read, like when you get a chance, just check on that. Make sure everything is okay. Because I think we get into working and we don't look up. we're like, what day is it? I don't know. The more question is, what year is it? Ooh, that got a little dark. So what I do when things get a little dark is I come and I put some purple in there. Chrissy! I would want to see an Oompa Loompa style bot. Sherpa's much more pure of heart. It'd just be fun, right?
Yeah.
Like a kind bot. Like a bot that makes Twitter happier. You know, like diffuses Twitter. No. We love each other. We're all friends here. I think I got it just a little crazy with that. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the leaves and how we're going to do that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Linda. All right. So the leaves on the elephant, I do with the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to show you what I've got. I'm going to load up my ultramarine blue into my brush. You can see me getting the brush fairly wet. The leaf stroke basically is you start kind of light, you press down and release. You start kind of light, you press down and release. Like that one, I kind of got off angle, so that kind of went a little weird on me. Light, press, release. Works with the round brush. Takes every brush that you have has kind of a different sweet spot. So there isn't like a magic brush for this. There's just an amount of leafing that you do for each brush that you're like, oh, okay, I kind of got it. Like, this is how I get the sleeve. And then you're like, oh, I can't get that leaf. And then you start to figure out how to get all your leaves. So you want to sit there and take a minute to practice your leaves just to the side, especially if you're using, like, I think I normally leaf with my black velvet, but this is what's in my hand. And my point is you should be able to do it with any round. But any round that you have will require you to do this warm-up work. And I think that's something that, you know, we forget sometimes, you know, as we're going and enjoying our creative process, is that we may need to warm up ourselves or our brush, or make sure that, that other brush we do does great leaves, but can we do it with any of our round brushes that we're painting with today? And that's what we're doing. Is there a watercolor brush that isn't round other than a mop? There's every shape of watercolor brush that you can imagine. There's daggers, there's liners, there's incredible like one stroke brushes. They're very diverse. There's fans, everything that you can think of for regular brushes is there. I'm going to compare my black velvet because that's what I kind of normally use. So. But you can see with this one, you've got to kind of get it warmed up as well. And the black velvet tends to do a vein of pigment. Can you see?
Yeah.
So these are just they're each unique. And it's about pressing and releasing the stroke. And the brush kind of makes the shape. And then when you feel kind of confident about it, you're like, all right, I think I can do this thing. Then we're going to do the elephant. All right. I'm going to come here and make sure that the pigment is thoroughly distributed throughout my brush all the way into the belly. Everything is dry enough for me to be able to rest my hand. I'm going to make sure that the point of my brush isn't separating too much. I want to make little leaves. And they weave in together. I'm not doing any vines. You could do vines. The idea is to create the feeling of a botanical pattern. You can even layer these in. And the other thing that this does is it teaches you control through the whole range of your brush. It does help if it's, nice and wet and ready to release paint, though. There we go. Just keep releasing little leaves, adding little leaves all around our little elephant. And you can, if you want to just sort of, another thing that you can do is you just come on the toe and paint leaf shapes like this. If you're like, man, no matter what I do, I'm not getting a leaf out of this brush, you can do it in the two-stroke method as well. Right. These are all just things to get familiar with your brush and what your brush will do. I'm going to do a kind of thoughtful little set of leaves over the eye here. Yeah, in sort of specific shapes. Right there. Sort of have fun. Have fun with it. This part is very relaxing and meditative.
Christy.
Nikki's like, I'm too overwhelmed with stuff to paint today.
Christy's like, I have a dagger. I'm like, either you're part of a Renaissance group or you have a diverse set of brushes.
Maybe both.
Or you could be both. It could go either way. You'd be like, don't put me in a box. I got both those things.
I do like to have some leaves going on and off that we can see. And you can see this is glazing, what we're doing here, where we take this blue over this gray. We're glazing. What are you doing? You're glazing. People ask you what you're doing. You're like, I'm glazing. Can't go do that thing. I've got to go glaze. I'm hoping you guys are having a good Labor Day. I put the video up today because I know many of us stayed home. And I thought you guys might like something to do. And to see each other.
I like seeing everybody.
I do too. We stayed home.
Although, in all fairness,
we always stay home.
We always stay home. It'd be hard to get me to go out anywhere.
Yeah, that is absolutely a true thing. I think we're having kind of a different experience with it in some sense because we don't really go anywhere a lot.
Well, we were hermits before.
Before hermiting was cool?
That's right. It's like
when all trending.
When all the COVID memes came out that were like, Gen X has been preparing this our entire lives. It's like, well, it's
was
just
already
now,
doing it, but thanks.
The one was that it's just now it's now popular to do what we've been doing for years.
It's on trend, even mandatory some places though. Just all the leaves. See how we're going around just doing all the leaves? Thank you, Sharon. I think he's adorable too.
Who's? I think it's an adorable little elephant.
He is. He's just a lot of fun. And you can see he's easy to do big. He's easy to do small. You could do him in acrylic really easy too, guys. So. And that's all right. You're welcome to paint him and share him either in the patron group, because we always love to see the patron stuff, or if you guys want to share him in Tazo, that's okay too, because he's technically a tutorial. and you can do them in any medium you like. It's nice to see Mark and Stephanie at the beginning of video.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie's always very nice. She sends me messages even though I have disappeared off the face of the earth. She gives me little messages of like, this is happening. I feel like it's a pen pal.
You have been in
pen pal on
production machine.
Messenger. Pen pals on Messenger.
It's funny because, like, we record a lot of stuff.
Well, and then whenever we decide to add a new series, like, what does that do to our day? Just when I figure out how to juggle the amount of work that I have.
All right. So
we're like, we have 15 free minutes. Add a video program in it.
So here's the idea. We're going to add just a new 5-minute video a day. Now, keep in mind that producing a 5-minute video takes somewhere between 2 and 5 hours minimally. Now, probably these videos take closer to... Actually, I've got them down pretty good now.
Yeah, you're doing them pretty good now, but it was like a thing.
The first one's like several hundred hours.
Oh, can you tell them the news of like the thing that we're working on that they should be looking for?
The thing, no, I want to make sure that we're like approved and then it's released, and then I'll be like, here it is. Here's the thing that we've been working on. Secret project number 363.
Patrons will hear first. Don't forget to enter for, if you want to win this one. The original one. The first one.
Oh, we doing that a giveaway?
Yeah, that's a giveaway for patrons only. They don't have to be here for the show.
Oh, neato burrito.
It's just the entries in their dashboard. Patron perk. Non-stressful giveaway.
There you go.
Next time someone's like, I can't work it out. It's like, you should be a patron. The giveaways are very chill over there.
So, Laura, if this is your first time here at the patron video and you're wanting to find this again later, when you log in to TheArtSherpa.com and you go to you'll click on the upper right-hand corner, say log in, or if you just click on it once you've logged in, it brings you to your sort of dashboard page.
This is under projects.
And this will be under your project. So you can go back and watch it again.
I also, for anything that's in the Facebook group, I have a file in there, if you know where Facebook files are, where I've kept a record of everything. Because, and they're in your project's dashboard too, but it just gives you a backup place just in case one or the other is hard to navigate on a particular day. Because you know how tech is.
Oh, you may not be able to super chat in here. And the reason for that is because we're on a private or unlisted video.
And YouTube does not want us to do that unless we have memberships.
So unless so this is how they say it. This is what they believe. Unless we're going to charge you money to watch an unlisted video, you can't give us money.
It just was like, sure.
So I was like, that's just one more reason you're going to see secret project number 363 really soon.
I see a message from Stephanie that she loves me.
Let's zoom in. Yeah, you can zoom in.
By the time the quarantine is over, Stephanie, it'll be like the retreat for the eclipse. No, it won't. I don't know anything official. Don't panic. I don't want to worry anybody. I'm just saying things. Not true things, just things. All right, so I'm going to... And I think I will kind of like draw this out a little bit with my pencil just to give me a sense of things. So I'm going to come here, and it's just to give me a guide about what I think I'm going to do.
So you can be on the ears there a little better?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I'm going, especially when it's black, I might do something and then be like, oh, I want to change it. So this is a great way to make sure that... And sometimes it's like important to see if I can get those little wing patterns in, get my little diamond daggers of butterflyness in as they do the thing.
Oh, hey. So Dorothy said, thank you for spending all the time in the production making this happen. This is something we really love doing.
Yeah, very much.
So one of the things we really enjoy being able to do is do crazy over-the-top production type of things for an extremely small audience. And that wouldn't necessarily sound like
fun, but it really is.
But here's the thing. I have a ridiculously overpowered camera system for capturing art.
Yeah.
And it's made possible because you guys want it. And so thank you. Thank you for
We
making this
couldn't
possible.
do it without you guys.
Yeah. This is it is my pleasure to be able to bring in these stupidly overpowered cameras and do this. Now, what's awesome is that these cameras haven't even seen their full upgrade yet. You guys, what you're looking through right now is about to get super upgraded, even beyond what this. You're gonna see it. Like it will be, oh my, how did you do so many pixels on the screen? That's a lot of crammed in pixels.
Yeah.
And that's because they make things smaller and faster every day.
I am working on getting the Red Queen for those of you that are painting her. I'm like, at some point, I may try to see if I can fit her on this table. Just get a plate of paint and do something.
That's because the other parts of the studio are seeing engineering upgrades.
They are. And they need to.
Yeah.
And then, we kind of got this set up so that we wouldn't have to stop production.
I like this setup. It's pretty cool.
Just making some little butterfly black lines. You know how they have little lines in there, little veins? I'm just making some butterfly veins.
And
Little dagger shapes.
363 is almost on 362, I guess, because it started technically before that. I'm having a meeting tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the meeting team to just make sure that the gallery is ready to go. Then it should be ready to launch in the next.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that project is, and it's an unexpected project. It's good stuff.
But he's not going to tell you because John thinks mystery is fun.
Well, it's not mystery. It's just that this is sort of like I've learned a little bit, both from ourselves, and from like Apple, which is that
don't announce your release date.
No, because then what happens is that some rare element goes into super out of production, so you can't make all the things you're supposed to make.
Jennifer Bowman's like boys and their toys, and Stephanie's like, new cameras are not limited to boys. Definitely not. Oh my goodness. So this here has to dry, and while that's drying, I can get into my editing and kind of work around it as long as the rest of this is dry. If this isn't dry, then actually I have to give it just a second. So I'll take questions for just a minute because I don't want to drag paint everywhere. Laura wants to know, did I use a water-soluble graphite pencil? No, but I would have if I could have found it. I don't know where it went. I do have this sort of vanishing art supply problem. I don't know where they're going. I really don't, but they go. And I'm like, I'll have to go like run it down and look for it. But I ended up using just a regular pencil for this one because I couldn't find my graphite. But I think graphite, on the original one I used graphite because it'll blend into the gray watercolor and it was ideal. But this looked like it worked out okay. And then with the black lining, I think it'll be just fine. And Jennifer's like, sorry. No, Stephanie is like being silly, like, not just boys. You should trust me. Oh, she said LOL. So Jennifer gets it. Thank goodness for LOLs and emojis, or we had no idea what anybody meant, right?
Yeah.
And then Stephanie's like, I'm still watching for the coloring book project. So, Stephanie, yeah,
that. Okay,
that
so
is actually getting.
We can talk a bit about that.
Can we?
That's project 360. Probably 360 in there.
Okay.
So the way
he's
that
going to explain. It's good and it's moving forward, and I know it's been a long time.
Super.
And thank you so much for your patience and that.
We can kind of talk openly about
this.
Talk
openly about that. I'm going to blackline the elephant.
So, all right, no, you're gonna. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Move that one. There she goes. There you go. So, the coloring book project. So this started out with a very sort of what I thought reasonable set of goals and expectations that we were going to make a coloring book that would be easily publishable to Amazon so that we could, get some projects out there for our community that they've been asking for. and Stephanie had done this and had some really good ideas on how to make some cool like patterning projects.
She did a really cool mandala flower coloring book that I really liked, and I was like, we should do something together.
And so we, she was like, yeah, sure, I think we could do that. So we ended up coming up with these. I don't know, it was a pretty good number of designs, and we were pretty happy with the book. And then we figured out that, well, there's a whole bunch of hoops that you have to jump through to get it registered.
Also, we had a thing we wanted to do ourselves because we wanted better paper.
Well, okay, so that came later. So when we first started to get this ready for the Amazon approach, right, we were like, all right, let's put this out there. But when we looked at the books that Amazon produced and the coloring book paper you got, we were like, well, wait a minute. This is not quite what we thought it would be, because it's very thin paper and it would be a very bad experience. So anyone who bought the book on there would likely not necessarily enjoy coloring the pages because they were very thin.
Maybe not. We just wanted thicker paper.
Yeah, especially as like we looked at it, we wanted thicker, much thicker paper. So we started looking around.
I'm going to do acrylic paint for the white. I just think it'll be easier. I'll put up my acrylic paint. I'm just letting them know.
Oh, yeah, no.
You could do the jelly pen if it was dry, but I'm going to do acrylic paint so we can just get her done.
What size pen was that?
This was the Edding 05.
Okay.
It is pigmented ink and it is light fast.
So we started looking around at publishing partners. And you gotta get that loaded there.
Yeah.
What we quickly found was that very few companies, actually no companies, were willing to do the production quality that we wanted, meaning that we had very specific paper thickness, quality of print, and light fastness. There's a bunch of things we looked at on this that we really wanted. And we couldn't find a single publisher that would do the quality of what we wanted. Many of them just like, we can't do it. Or the ones who could said they couldn't because they couldn't handle, like they were so backed up.
The one publisher we were going to work about kind of got wiped out by coronavirus.
Yeah, and that's all those troubles aside. What we realized was that there was no way for this not to be something where we couldn't just take on this production. So we built out a full high quality print station that allows us.
Yeah, we did.
That allows us to produce large format, high quality prints on 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper. So we can print on this. It's a big sheet of paper that they use for printing. And it comes in these big blocks that are rated by A size. And so, anyway, we can get one of these big chunks of paper and we can feed it into our machine and then it'll print. And it'll print on really pretty paper. So then all of a sudden, we can print a coloring book on very nice, well, actually, we can now print it on any kind of paper we want to put in the machine. So, and while that sounds...
And do ring binding so that you can open it and lay it flat.
That's where things got kind of cool, is that we also have this machine. Okay, so I have this machine that's a collator.
I'm just adding, by the way, so you guys know, this is a number 1 detail brush. It's just regular fluid acrylic paint, and I'm adding a little reflection to the eye.
It's a gigantic machine that takes big stacks of paper and mixes them together. It's a collator. It's this huge, giant stacking machine. It's awesome. It's a robot that puts all the paper together, and then you get your editing out again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the binder, which is this gigantic machine that punches a bunch of holes and then binds it together. Not like with a piece of plastic, but with like this big metal ring binding. That way it folds flat and it folds open nicely, and it's very, very clean.
And then we did realize we could get watercolor pencils.
And then
to bundle. And then I was like, oh, I could just sign it.
And then we shrink wrapped them. And then what we had was a watercolor set. So basically, it's this really nice, and we've got a couple different grades of the book. So It's
But it gets more than this though, because then we realized that our living space and our workspace, including our warehouse, were the same space, which made our old house really like untenable. So we're also working on expanding into a new workspace.
so that's secret project 370.
Yeah. Do full screen.
Okay.
So you can see.
So Luna push. So you have to hit the
Good
cross
job,
that one
Luna.
there. There you go.
Woo,
Look at that.
good job, Luna. So this is my baby elephant. And that's how you do that. Deliberately Creative is like, the inside bit, Stephanie. The inside baseball publishing house. Don't forget the computerized paper cutter. Oh, goodness gracious. There are so many tools that are required. We've had weird journeys in our soap. We've had weird journeys in our publishing. We had weird journeys. What happened to us through the Acrylic April book, which is the most beautiful book you have not seen yet. I would like Donna to verify that it is the most beautiful book you have not seen yet.
What I would say is
so
that
gorgeous.
it is the prettiest book that we have not published. But
we're going to have a publishing house, so that might not be a problem.
Well, the cool thing is that what I would say is that sometime around mid this month, gosh, it's that close, yeah.
There's going to be a bunch of nonsense that comes your way, I guess.
There's announcements that I guess are happening. Are we going to announce 370, Project 370? Which is...
Yeah.
I guess so.
They're patrons. They get to know all the things that other people don't get to know.
Well, there's a building coming.
There's a building.
Yeah, there's Sherpa Central on the horizon. There's a headquarters for us to stake claim and raise a flag on and call our own. And it is coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, like, our house is still our house. Our forever home is still forever home. We still film because we like to be able to walk downstairs and just make a video.
We're going to keep the studio.
About that.
Yeah.
But that way, like the shipping right now, like, so we have I don't know if you guys know this, but we're doing the 13 Days of Halloween, and we made a very special kit just for that. It had the canvas, the brushes, all the paint, everything that you needed, plus supplies, a bunch of extra stuff, and goodies and all kinds of nonsense for it. And it's all in stacks here. And then John had to create a shipping station because every time we tried to work with anybody else about shipping, like, honestly, let's be honest, like, tracking numbers are slow.
That's right.
Everything's slow. So since we have a very organized helper here.
So now I built out, what I did, and this is awesome. I'm going to like let you guys know what we have behind the scenes. We have a full shipping warehouse that's built right, meaning that I've got a dedicated touchscreen print station, so you can go over there and say, you can load up the website, you can load the product in there, it pulls up, it allows me to buy the postage, it sends you an email when I buy the postage, then it sends you another email when I load your tracking number into our website, and then you can see it on the website. So the system is really robust, it works well, we've demonstrated it that we've been able to ship a bunch of product already. So there's a bunch of art lifestyle product that I will always say to John, I would like that, but it's too expensive, or it's too... It's $368 and $369.
He's not even kidding about the numbers.
Because that's like the multicolored plastic thing that's going to,
Yeah, so I'll see these things out there. And actually one of them was a fake bait and click
Kelly,
website. And I was like, that would be the coolest thing if that were real.
So Kelly's asking about another secret project that I'm working on.
Is there a Sherpa turntable in the future? Yes, Kelly.
It's another secret project.
What has really held us back is in our old place, we had to warehouse, we had to do all of our eventing stuff, we had to film in there, and we all lived in there, and the house was like very few square feet.
Very small.
It just looked like we were hoarders with a purpose at one point.
Yes.
Just like hoarders that had an objective. And but it was like that. It was like stacks, like you're walking through stacks and stuff. So we relocated, and that gave the family some more room and allowed us to expand our family a bit. And then we were like, oh, well, there's a basement and there's everything, and we'll do that in there. We discovered we do not like to work in the basement.
I'm tall.
Not a dwarf. I'm a hobbit.
I'm 6'4", which means that I hit my head on every steam pipe down there. Just dunk.
We were like, no, we can't do that. That's not going to work. And then also, it can't just be everywhere because it just we just take over. It just spreads out.
And so this was like I don't know if you ever played like StarCraft or Warcraft. What happened was is that I had enough little Zerglings, and I sent them out the front gate, and they said, "Go find another base." And they came back and said, "We found one, and you won't believe where it's at."
And then we wanted to expand soap production, because like where we were wasn't like really ideal for that. And the person who was originally making it was like really banking on somehow I wouldn't be able to make my own soap that I totally gave the recipe for. I don't know why that was the thinking, but it was.
We have such soap. Like, okay, so probably the thing that I would say is most different about Cinnamon and I than anyone else, the one true differentiating factor is that there's nothing we don't believe we can do.
Even when we're wrong.
We'll try it. And so if you come and tell us we can't make soap, we're going to be like, why? You better have a real good reason.
One, because I already done it in bath bombs. I have no idea what that thinking was. I have no idea why that was the thinking. But
people did it in a prairie, like for hundreds of years ago. Like they got off the side of a wagon and were like, "I need to clean some stuff. I need some soap." Now the part
where you read like the medieval handbook and Ralph Meyer stuff, and you read all the medieval workshop about what artists did, like in the 11th century to clean product. That part was maybe specialized by me and unique to me.
There is a difference between cowboy trail back soap and high quality artisan milled soap. There's some differences. I'm not going to deny that. But at the same time, it's real basic chemistry.
Laura wants to know, when do you guys have time to sleep?
I like
John
coffee
goes to
a
bed.
lot.
So like John goes to bed pretty early. Like as soon as we get off this, he's gonna hug the kids. He's gonna go upstairs. He's gonna crash out.
You got like
I have you guys know I'm kind of
2
up
hours,
late.
maybe.
Yeah, and I'm kind of up late, but I get up in the morning, and then if you have kids in school, they get up the kids get up early, so they wake you up. So it's I don't know. It somehow goes. I think other people have hobbies and interests. I think that's what it is that other human beings have hobbies and interests.
This is my hobby.
This is our hobby. This is our interest. This is our job.
I
this
painted
is our
the
passion.
wall behind you green.
What?
I painted the wall behind you green.
He did. He painted. They can't even see that. I have a real green
It's
room
genuinely
now.
Okay. So like it's so green. Check this out. Like
wait. Can you float the thing? No. Do the Mario Brothers. I like the Mario when he was up there. I wanted to float the Mario in one of the lives.
I don't know where he is.
Just to mess with somebody. Good. I'm glad we stayed on. KC says, "Hey, I'm late, but I'm here." And
Look,
just know you can watch this anytime, KC.
You can sell your own merch.
And Laura, LA for Dream says you can see the chat now. And Heather's like, "That sounds me and my husband. I make soap, and people think it's melt and pour, and we get the comments. You can't do that." I'm like, it's just. You know what it's like. You do. Yeah, I would say bath bombs. Now, I do bath bombs. I like them a lot. I like to make them. I would say sometimes those are trickier in some ways and more temperamental because you're so at the mercy of your environment, right? Like in Houston where it was so humid, and you're so funny. Look, art supplies that float.
There's actually
Kelly says I'm going to go broke, but I have to have all the Sherpa things. You should show them the soap sticks.
Soap sticks. Okay.
Yeah.
Twist my arm.
And while we're getting our new batch and our new stuff out, because we're, wanting to get a more consistent production going where we can say this is.
Yeah.
There was some interest at some larger stores to like be involved with the soap, so we've got to figure out how to like do something that could be scaled, right? It's like not just like our hand little batch for everybody. Check this out. This is Sherpa soap. Sherpa soap.
I got it. You stay there.
Sherpa soap.
Now, the cool thing about Sherpa soap.
Sherpa soap. You can push it up just like that. I'd like to say this one was my idea. I bought them and said, "John, do this." They really are. They're a hot mess to fill. It really is. Like you're just trying to get them in there. Like you've got that like minute from Trace, and then you're trying to get them in there. And then, we started going.
So these are really actually kind of cool. They smell really good. They work really well. And
Jennifer
honestly,
Bowman's like, I need a soap stick.
Here's the cool thing.
Cindy, I like them too.
Is that soap sticks, because they are a lye-based soap, if you know that you've got like just a general cotton type of product and you've tested this before, this works because if you could just like it cleans. It really, really cleans. So it will pull dried paint out of cotton fiber. And that's been my experience playing with it. So what I would say is that
I don't know, it doesn't show.
Test it on your things, but I have
Donna says that soap took Doc's Purple out of the dress. Yeah, no, it will break down a lot of pigment. It really will break down paint out of the ferrule, and we're working on that. And then John and I were like, I'm gonna be real honest. We started asking ourselves, why are our brushes not made to sit in water? That seems crazy.
Glue. It's the type of glue they use.
Right. And just the way that they're put together. And then we started asking ourselves, like, how do you make paint? So we've been asking ourselves a lot of questions lately that we have really enjoyed discovering the answers to. And that's kind of that together process that we've got going. You guys are always our first kind of art family to know.
More secret projects.
More secret projects. Kelly's like, what you teach is my hobby. Linda's like, does it keep the mosquitoes away like Skin So Soft, Stephanie?
What I would say is that the Sherpa soap keeps color fast dyes out of your clothes. So if you have non-color fast dyes in your clothes, the Sherpa soap will get it out.
It really does break down. And it breaks down that acrylic polymer really, really well.
It just sucks it right out of there.
And I wouldn't recommend putting it on your skin. So it's like, put it behind your ears. No.
No,
it's a really
it's a very dry soap.
It is.
So it doesn't have a lot of extra lotiony fat in it for your hands. It will make your hands a little dry.
Yeah, it will dry out your hands and your skin. And the oils in it are like,
they're designed for hair and filament.
No. The oils in it are designed powerful, intense cleansing oils. Like they're cleansing. And it's not like that fragrance version of it. It's like that 10 times strength. John touched it once and he thought we had like killed him.
Oh, yeah.
So they're powerful cleansers. I wouldn't put it like just on your skin and like wear it. But for like cleaning out your brush, it is like the bomb. Skin So Soft is awesome, though. I agree. What's in Skin So Soft?
Smell them good.
I have some fun sneak peeks. Luna, can you grab the 2 mouths that I did today? I'm working on the 13 Days of Halloween. And I have a conundrum, and you guys can help me since you're here.
I don't know where they're
at. Look like I would have put them flat somewhere safe around this area, around here. Because I just did them, and so I would have to put them dry where they wouldn't be stacked on each other, the mouths. They would be in here. I didn't take them out. You're not going to find them. Anyways, if they can find them, I will show you. Okay. I don't hide them that hard. On a surface in flat site. Okay. So here's our conundrum. There's 2 of them. So this is the first one. Do you guys recognize who this is? You recognize who this is? Right? And then, so we've got the 13 days coming up and I'm designing now and I'm doing the kit and everything for it. And I'm like, oh, you know, what would be really fun is I like to do the Hocus Pocus Sisters, even though it's high risk because Disney. And do you recognize who this is? But if you put them together, it gets to be kind of a clue. I hope it's a clue. Can you see it? I'm working on the last one right now. That one has a mole. So I'm kind of trying to work that out. And I'm trying to decide, do I want those to be on the main 13 days or like patron only?
Bonus
patron videos because they would make the cutest masks, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys dig that? Because I would dig that like on the down low, like, oh, yes, Casey, no, it's Winifred. Thank you. So I'm doing those 3 and I'm trying to decide. I think we might make these a patron exclusive. And I may like tomorrow do another set of mouths that are for the community and the masks, and these might be secret on the down low for you guys. What do you think about that, John?
I don't know.
He's going to think on
okay
it.
I think that'll be okay on the main channel.
Do you think that'll be okay on the main channel?
Yeah.
I always worry about that. You just never know.
Yeah, no, I think so.
But I don't know. What do you guys think of those? Do you like the idea of just the mouths?
Yes.
Like, just doing the mouths and like doing everyone has done every version of this, and so I'm just trying to find a space that has not been complete. Like, we all know that my stuff gets out there and like everybody does other versions of it from mine, right? But I'm just like, I want to do something new that's recognizable that we'll all have fun with, that'll feel like.
Yeah, I think you ought to drop those up there tomorrow and let people see them.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what John thinks. So you guys vote. Do you think it can go to the whole community? I think it can. All right, we can. It can. It can. I'll get them done tomorrow and I'll put them out there.
We're running low. We're running long.
We're so long. Sorry, you guys get a little bit. Oh, Desiree's like her Halloween skit on the way, and she's so excited for it to arrive. And I ordered canvas from Dick Book almost a month ago, and I still haven't received it, so I'm praying it comes on time. So as you guys may or may not know, the mail is running a little slower than usual. They're having extra challenges. Let's send them light and love every day, because I can't imagine being a postal worker right now.
Oh, let's see here. I want to go double check.
Oh, and John will check your. You can check your tracking on it. I think that they're going pretty fast. They're going pretty well. But let's all send light and love to anyone working, actually, in any of the necessary services right now. Oh my gosh, everyone who's out there in necessary services right now has so much love and respect for me.
See, so it's pretty cool. I can go out to our website, Desiree, and I can go out there and I can say "bink" and I can click on the tracking number, and then it posts up and it says expected delivery Wednesday, September 9th by 8 p.m.
Your expected delivery is Wednesday, September 9th by 8 p.m. We may beat you there, and you get canvases in the kit, so you're good. All right.
I'm not saying where it's going, but I'm saying it's going to get there.
LA for Dreams like, I feel the love. And Tara's like, yes, masks. So, all right, well, you guys got to see it first, and I'll let you guys know what they are, where they are, before anybody else really gets to see them, because patrons.
As patrons. So, okay, so thank you, patrons.
Thank
when
you.
you get your boxes, thank you. And that reminds me. So, who just said
Desiree's like, she's stalking
Desiree.
her tracking.
Okay. So, Desiree, when you get your box, if anything inside has any problems, contact support@theartsherpa.com and we'll make sure you're taken care of. It should. I put little notes, all the stuff inside there. If there's
It will
any
not
issues,
upset us at all.
Huh?
It won't upset us at all.
No,
We don't
and
mind.
Just let us know. We want to make sure that you're having a good time when you get it. So this is, we're wanting to learn every time we do this how to do it better. So please let us know what you think. And we shipped via United States Postal Service.
Casey, did you see the recent? Oh, Casey's asking if we can do a dragon tutorial. Did you see the recent dragon? I don't know if you saw the recent dragon that we did on the channel. If you did and you're just looking for more dragon, that's totally cool. But if you hadn't seen it, I just want to let you know there was one recently. But there will be more dragon because I like dragons. Those dragons are cool. Dragons are very cool, and I am into that. So, all dragons are good. I'm just asking. If you didn't know, we did a round dragon that was purple and really pretty, and it's hanging on my wall right now, so I can't show you, but it's like really gorgeous, and I really love it. It's a black dragon in purple forest. But if you're looking for more dragon, fear not, because there'll be more dragons happen. In the Sherpa world, dragons happen, as do unicorns and other strange creatures. And flutterfints, which apparently are infesting the Sherpadom of many, many flutterfints. Laura's like, there just is not enough dragons. Everybody says there's not enough dragons. All right.
I'm going to get that red-handled hook out here in a second.
Yep. Like, guys, be safe out there, right? Take care of yourselves. Take care of your health, however you're doing that. Be careful and know that we care about you. We want you guys to be safe. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we want to see you at an easel really soon. This is the weirdest, longest lesson that wasn't long.
Okay, bye-bye.
People are going to be like, why is this 2 hours?
We had a huge crew here. We got like 40 people in here.
No, I like these whole patronage lessons. Woo! Okay, bye.